All right then, so we're making great progress. We've already got our login and user list screens set up and working. The challenge for this lecture is to enable sending of images. And we're going to do this pretty neatly without a single new view controller. So let's say we want to send an image to Kirsten, then the photos pops up and we choose the one that we want. I'll go for Homer, and then you can see that's sending. And when it's done, you get a nice alert saying that it's been successful. And then over in our data browser, we can see that that's been successfully uploaded just there. Wonderful. So pretty straightforward. I think you'll be able to manage that. Best of luck. Okay, here we go. Continuing our theme of making this app as simple as possible, I'm not even going to create a new view controller for this one. We're just going to use the didSelectRow at index path, which unfortunately isn't included in the standard code there, so we'll need to add it ourselves. There it is, didSelectRow at index path. And here then is when we'll send our image. So first, of course, we've got to get the image. So let's add the necessary delegates. So it's UI navigation controller delegate and UI image picker controller delegate. And while we're here as well, I'm going to create a variable called recipient username, which will initially be empty, or an empty string at least. And then here, we'll update that. So recipient username becomes usernames index path dot row. So we now know within the app who we're sending this to. So then let's create our image picker controller, and this is going to be a UI image picker controller. There it is. It's going to have a delegate of self, so the view controller. It's going to have a source type of, we can actually just use dot and then photo library, as we're focused on doing everything as efficiently as possible. And then image picker controller dot allows editing, we'll keep that as false. And then we'll present our new view controller, which is our image picker controller. Animated is true, and completion, we don't need to do anything when it's presented, so we can leave that as nil. There we go. And then we just need to write our code to do something when the user has picked the image. So we use did finish picking media with info. So first we get the image, which we do using if let image is equal to info, and then UI image picker controller original image. And we're going to attempt to cast that to a UI image. And I think for now, we'll just print image returned. And then we'll just check and make sure that everything's connected up right. And then we can write the code for actually saving the image to pass. Just before we do run that though, we'll need to set the property to display when we attempt to view the user's photos. So that's down in privacy, and it's photo library usage description. And I'll just use to get an image to send. All right, here we go. So we should already be logged in, and we should be able to just tap on a user to get the photo library set up. There we go. So let's go for Ralphie. You can see, there we go. We've got an image to send. Click OK. Oh, yep. Let's stick with our Homer image. And I think that did actually work. There we go. You can see we've got image returned, but there was one thing I forgot, and that was actually to dismiss the image picker controller. So that's quite important to get back to our app. So animated true and completion nil. Other than that though, everything did seem to go fine. So let's add our code for saving the image to parse server. And here I'll create a new PF object. I'll call it image to send. And this is going to be a PF object with a class name of image with a capital I there. So this is going to be where all our images are stored. And then we'll set image to send photo to be equal to a PF file created from some data. There we go, with a name. So the name will just be photo.png, and the data is going to be a UI image PNG representation from the image that we got here. So that's just image. There we go. And we will need to force unwrap that, but that will definitely work because we've checked to see if we can cast image to a UI image, and only if we have are we running this code down here. Then we just need to record the sender and the recipient. So image to send, and we'll call it sender username. So that's going to be our current user's username. And we'll need the recipient as well. So we'll call that recipient username. And you'll remember we saved that up here in the recipient username variable. Okay, so then we'll save that in the background with a block, success or error. And I'm actually going to create a quick UI alert to let the user know whether this was saved successfully or not. So let's assume the worst and assume it fails, and we'll set, in that case, the title to sending failed and the description to please try again later. And then we'll just check for a success. And if there is a success, then we'll set title to message sent and description equal to something pretty obvious: your message has been sent. Okay, then we'll create our alert. So our alert controller will be a UI alert controller with a title of title, a message of description, and then the preferred style will just be the default .alert. Then we'll take our alert controller and add an action. And this is going to be a UI alert action with a title of OK, a style of .default, and a handler of simply alert controller .dismiss. Animated true, completion nil. All right. And we need an extra bracket there. And finally, we need to display the alert. So self.present, and we want to present the alert controller, animated true, completion nil. Okay. Let's give that a try then. So now we should be able to select an image from the photo library, and this time it will actually come back to our app when we're done because we've dismissed the photo library, and it should upload the image and we should be able to see it on pass, and it should show a message as well to the user saying that's been done. So let's upload Homer. It's looking good, it's doing something there, and message sent. Wonderful. Let's have a quick check then over on our data browser, and let's take a look. We've got our image there, it's looking promising, and we've got our sender username, recipient username, and the image itself is the one we wanted. Fabulous. So now users can send images and they can see that the image has been successfully sent or get an error message, as the case may be. So all that remains is for our recipient to be able to view the image that's come through to them. And we'll make that happen in the next video.